This is Simeon from Swedish Homestead. I will give you part 2 of our touring the homestead. Our property is not very big, it's not very small either. It's not very big for farming. It is nice for a smaller homestead. But we are also farming the neighbors' farms. So I will show you the fields today and maybe some of the buildings we use. When my parents bought this farm 14 years ago, it was in very bad shape. And let me show you a little bit some of the things we haven't been able to fix up yet. It's a lot of work on this farm, especially since we all used to have town jobs. I'm hoping to be able to fix some of the stuff up now that I have now that I'm trying to live off the farm here. But it's always hard to do work where you don't earn so much, but you want to make the farm pretty, the homestead nice for all the customers and visitors. So I'll show you a little bit. Before I go on the tour, if you haven't watched part 1 of the farm tour, here's the link. So make sure to check that out. So here you see this was a chicken stable that was built by I think the previous owner, and it's just so broken and everything. The thing is they built this wrong here. So if we take out the window, this whole thing will collapse. So we have been thinking about tearing the whole building down or something like that. You see, even around the corner here, it's just ugly. It's not very nice at all. This was the old cow stable underneath, and they used to have the hay on top. That's where we have been putting it. We will change that as well because it's very labor intensive to get all the hay up there. But it's very convenient because it insulated the cow stable. Because there was so much hay there, and then towards the spring where you didn't need the insulation, the hay would get less. And there's actually an opening where you can put the hay through straight into the cow stable. And let me see, right now we have a couple chickens in here still. Here you see the roosters are still here. I haven't slaughtered them yet. But this is actually where we used to keep our cows for a while. Now we are going to keep them outside and on deep bedding next year. So this is the cow stable. The cows used to stand here. The manure and urine would go here, and the urine would run out. The cow manure would be shoveled out twice a day. And back here is where the cow manure goes. Now, just for orientation, if you watch the first farm tour, in that video I'm walking down on that road and I'm filming up towards these buildings at one point. Here in the cow stable, we also have the pump room in there. You can't see anything, light is off. But in there is the pump for my parents and my brother's house. Their well is right over there where my son Henry is. That's the well. Funny enough, it gets pumped to the stable here because the cows used to keep the stable warm. And then it gets pumped to that house and over there. Now, we have built a lot of buildings since we have come to the farm here. This is the little woodshed that is not big enough for us anymore, so we have to refill it. We built this as a little sheep stable, but we are not using it really anymore right now. The piggies are in there. We've built that greenhouse. If you haven't seen the video how we built that greenhouse, I really recommend it. I'll link it right here as well. It's an awesome video. It was a fun project. This is called magasin in Swedish. They used to put their grains up there and dry them there. Storage place for lots of things. Right now we are turning this building into the top supposed to be kind of like an apartment for summer guests or visitors, and the bottom is supposed to be something like a conference room. That's a whole nother story. Now that little building over there is where we sell our eggs in the summertime. People just come to the farm, they park their car, they go in there, leave their money, take the eggs, and they leave. It really works. We have never, in the 2 or 3 years we have done this now, I think once or twice there was too little money in there. So down there from the first farm tour, that's the old blacksmith. Check it out. Now, lots of these buildings were just completely broken. This year when we moved here, it was completely messed up. We had to lift the whole building and put new beams in, put a new door in, put a new wall in there. This is the workshop that used to be an open barn. Used to be timber frame, and people have they had just broken it entirely. We put new beams there, we lifted the whole thing up, we put a new wall there, and as you can see, we're not done yet. We have to continue here and fix the whole side of the workshop. There's a very, very wide door here, so we can even drive in a car sometimes if we want to work in a warm place. There is, it's big enough so we can bring wood in easily for the planer. And this whole building is insulated, so that's awesome. Very, very nice, and it looks quite big, but I can promise you that you cannot have a big enough workshop. And there you see we are not done yet, we have to continue. It's such a pain to lack time. Either you lack time or you lack money. That's just reality. Here you can see there used to be a really old chunky place connected here, and we tore it down, and it's just ugly. That's not how we build. This is how we build. We built this place here for our machines, but now we have a lot of lumber boards, a lot of other machines. This is all my chicken feed and the bags from it that has gone there. This used to be a fencing that we had when we had chickens. We have sold a bunch of it because we've taken it down. We've switched entirely to electric fencing. And here you see our root cellar. I will make a video about that. Now, in some videos you have seen these ugly, half torn down, horrible trailers. Well, they are ugly, very ugly, but what they are is my parents bought these, this one and that one right there, and they want to turn them into tiny houses, also for guests or something. Maybe some of you guys should come visit someday when these are done. This is our boat. But anyway, I wanted to show you the pastures. So down there goes the road that I walked to the peninsula north. Down there is our forest. Now here is, let me go a little further. Here are our cows. Hi guys. You okay? Biffen is standing in the food again. Are you kidding me? Mister. That's right. You know you're not supposed to be there. Oh my. Hi guys. So Lizzie, Sally, Bella, Lisa, Biffen, our Highland cattle cows. Okay, let's go on here. We have a bunch of pastures, and we use the neighbors' pastures as well, and fields for making hay. They used to be, when we moved here to the farm, there used to be bushes and brush here. It was like 3 meters tall everywhere. We opened up all these fields, we chipped all the stuff up, and we cut down a bunch of big trees. You see like big tree stumps all over this field, and open everything up, like all the way back there. This whole field, we opened all of that up. It was a lot of work, but we were able to sell the wood chips and put animals on it. But there you see it's very wet. We opened it up all the way, but now all these spruce trees and everything have started to grow again, and we didn't have enough animals to keep all the brush down. We have another field up here. Here you see the mobile chicken coop that I'm building. It's modeled after the Polyface farm chicken coop, the mobile hen house. And I had it with about 100 chickens on this pasture, rotating it once a week all last summer. It worked amazingly. So you won't see a cow pie here. We had cows here and they scratched it all out. So here's how we have done some of our newer fencing. We have put it in the rock walls here, these old Swedish rock walls. We've just drilled a little hole and put the fencing in here just because there's so much stuff growing up in these walls, and now the animals can just eat it and keep these walls clear. And we don't have to hit all the posts in again in the spring when the frost has pushed them up. So this is really nice. And you see back there how all these bushes and hazelnut trees and everything has grown up. And now I hope that the animals will be able to go all the way there. This is still the old fence that we will move. And we'll start a rotating system here next year. This is just amazing how these old guys put all these rocks here. And these Swedish rock walls, they go like 2 to 3 feet, like about 1 meter deep into the ground, and that's why they don't move in the winter. Okay, so we have all these pastures here where we rotate them. We have this pasture here, and then it continues all the way to those trees over there. That's where our neighbor's farm starts, and we are actually farming her land and the next farm as well. And we have a lot of potential to expand because there are so few people that want to live here and farm. So there are a couple neighbors who still have animals, but they're all elderly, and I don't know for how long they will have it. Okay, so the property goes to the spruce tree forest there, and goes down to the lake there, and then the same there. It goes straight over to the lake. It's about 300 yards down that way. Now, this forest, we get a lot of firewood and stuff out. We have to thin it through more. We're like still behind after 14 years of living here, still behind on a lot, because and this will probably make a whole nother video. It's just so tough to do time and money on the homestead and to keep all the ends together. So I will talk about that. Also, if you haven't done so, I just want to recommend our background story to the Swedish homestead, which shows you a little bit of where we are and how we moved here and the farm we got. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this part 2 of the Touring the Homestead series. I will have at least one more video coming up about the farm buildings, where they are, their age and all of that stuff. And make sure to check out our Facebook page. We post pictures there. People have been enjoying those. And if you want to help us grow and support us, you can share those posts and tell people about us. We really appreciate that. Thanks for all the comments. I will see you in the next video. Thanks and bye-bye.